5 years ago, we replaced our car with this, but I didn't tell my family what we were getting. They thought we were getting a used Renault Zoe until I surprised them with this standard range Tesla Model 3. And this is what happened.
What? We got a Tesla! I thought Simon's car was purple.
That's not Simon's car!
No.
That's a Tesla!
That is not Simon's car.
That's a Tesla!
Ta-da! It's the new Tesla-cull.
No, it is not.
It's the Tesla-cull.
It's a Tesla, it's got the T.
Ah yes, the heady days of you could say something positive about Tesla on the internet and not get shot at online in the comments section. But that's the internet in a nutshell, isn't it? Because I've owned electric vehicles for 10 years and this for 5, I'm a far left-leaning green woke idiot. But now with the exact same car, those same people are calling me a far right-leaning idiot. I mean, pick one, that's all I ask. And I was at this stage going to say, can we just keep this, it's a car channel, you know, home energy. It's not political, let's just stay on topic and, you know, it's a bit of escapism. But when I thought about it, I thought, well, actually, no, I do want engagement in the comment section. So if you want to say nice things or bad things about Mr. Musk, then go nuts in the comment section. That's exactly what the channel needs. So back on topic, this is the total cost of ownership over the last 5 years from new of this Tesla Model 3 Standard Range Plus. It's done about 73,000 miles at this stage, and I'm going to try and include absolutely everything that is associated with running a car. So that's fuel, both external and at-home charging. We've got MOT, servicing, tax, well, everything really related to running this car, and including, of course, the big one, depreciation. Now, to do this properly, obviously, we need to go somewhere that fiscally at least is very responsible and irrefutable with its accuracy. Even the orange overlord across the Atlantic himself could not argue with the whiteboard of truth. All hail. Right, so we have a 2020 Tesla Model 3 Standard Range Plus. We've got service, VED or road tax if you will, fuel costs, depreciation and tyres. So let's start with service first because, well, service isn't just service, it means any repairs because the car's well out of warranty now apart from the battery and the motor anyway. So this is everything we've done from the last 5 years and this comes to a total of £281 because I've had it serviced once. And I think that was 2 years ago-ish, 2 and a bit years ago, purely out of curiosity, because there's nothing to service. They changed the air filter, I can do that myself. They rotated the tyres, but again, not a problem for me. And ultimately, there's just nothing that's really worth servicing. I know enough in terms of basic mechanical knowledge to check the brake discs and pads and all the basic maintenance, which I think everybody should know and be part of. It should be like riding a bike. Everyone should know the basic stuff of cars. So that's literally everything I've paid, including MOTs, since it was past 3 years old anyway. That's obviously going to be considerable saving over, well, combustion engine vehicles, where that would be probably more for just the first year alone, let alone over the last 5. Now, VED/road tax, excise duty. That, again, nice and straightforward. Nothing, zero. There's been no tax, VED, since I got this car. It does start next year, so that will be £195 if I do a video next year. But as it stands, it's still zero, and as we bought the car in March, it happily renewed in March, just before the £195 thing kicked in, which means it will be next March before we actually pay any road tax. So, zero. Let me skip these two and just do tyres, because again, that's pretty straightforward. We've had 2 at the front and 4 at the rear, so 12 tyres in total. So we've replaced both sets at the front twice and the rear 4 times. And that was done about 10, 11 months ago, something like that with the tyres. And we've still got the ones from last year's video, essentially, because they've still got plenty of tread left on them. So that's still the same, and this is including fitting and the tyres themselves, of course. £1,980. That's a lot of money for tyres. But again, I've done 72,000 miles. And remember, it's rear wheel drive, that's why we had more rears. And I've still got quite a bit of tread left, so I'll get more miles out of those sets, if you will. And I've always done the same thing in terms of changing them. That's a mobile person that comes to my drive and does them here where we live. It's a bit of a pain getting to the tyre places. It's like a, I don't know, 20-mile round trip. So that's a little bit more expensive, but ultimately that's all costs. And it's not just your standard cheapo tyres. That's the ones that Tesla recommend, as well as the ones I've used from day one of, well, driving. So the last 20 odd years, I've always used Michelin tyres. Premium tyres. It's going to be a bit more expensive than your cheap, no brand items, but ultimately worth every penny, because as I've always said, always make sure you have at least the same, if not better tyres than everyone else around you. Because in an emergency situation where you have to, I don't know, stop quickly or something, tyres are very important, and not enough people put enough weight into getting decent ones, like the Michelin ones. I mean, people think I'm some sort of Michelin shill, and it's just, excuse me, it's just not true. Hang on. Oh, that's better. Right, let's get on with this. Let's come back now to fuel. This is, again, everything. 72,000 miles divided by 4, because the car has averaged 4 miles per kilowatt hour over the entire 72,000 miles. We've never reset the trip computer, and that's essentially what the car's telling me. So, including losses and everything, it comes to £2,100. Again, for 72,000 miles. That's been broken up into rapid charging costs out in public, home charging, which 95% of what I do is at night when it's very cheap. That's why that's so low, as well as some peak rate charging at home. And remember, this is over the last 5 years. It's not just today's prices. In 2020, rapid charging was a lot cheaper, even though the Tesla superchargers are very cheap, relatively speaking anyway, today included. And home charging, I think I was paying 5 pence per kilowatt hour in 2020. It's now 7.5 pence. I've just had a quick look online at today's prices, granted not over the last 5 years, although they're probably not much different to be honest, how much that would have cost with 72,000 miles with a combustion engine vehicle at £1.36 as an average, and a 50 miles per gallon average over the entire 72,000 miles, and it comes to just under £9,000. Nearly £7,000 saving in 5 years, just with having an EV, but by having the massive advantage of being able to charge at home. If I couldn't charge at home, I doubt I'd ever have bought an EV at this stage. Now, the big one that's going to make the big dent in the figures, depreciation. As I've always done, again, for the last 20 odd years, I've always sold a car privately, because for the little bit of hassle that you always get your best return, you always get the best price back. So what I've done is, as always, looked on Auto Trader at other equivalent cars, other 2020 Model 3 Standard Range Pluses with the same sort of mileage. Long story short, the cheapest ones are 13 grand, and they go up to about 14 grand for that car with about the same miles. So I'm going to take the lowest of that and assume I will get the worst case scenario, £13,000, which means that I have spent in depreciation £27,000. Ouch. So let's add all this up then. £31,361 per year. That comes to, averaged out, £6,272 per year. Per month, again, I've rounded it off at £523 per month for a Tesla Model 3 Standard Range Plus from new, including everything. Now, how much are you paying for a car? I guess that's the question, isn't it? Are you paying £300, £400 a month just for the finance? Once you add fuel and tax and all that sort of stuff on top of it, that will be no doubt a lot more expensive. For a brand new car, I'm happy with that. And of course, the longer I keep the car, the less that will get, because depreciation levels out. In another year it will be worth less, but not £6 grand a year less or thereabouts. So again, yeah, the longer you have the car, the cheaper it becomes to own it. funnily enough. Of course, repairs, in theory, will go up, but with an EV, what's to repair other than basic suspension components? And at the moment, on that, I have the dreaded creak of shame, the front suspension creak that pretty much every Tesla that's ever made suffers from. But for like 20 quid, 25 quid, I can fix it myself. So that's it. In terms of reliability, I'm touching some wood now. I've had nothing. It's definitely really cheap to run an EV. Just the depreciation side, isn't it? So I'll leave it up to you whether you think this is any good. Remember, if you're looking at this 523 quid price here, that's not how much you're paying a month for your car. That's everything. Fuel, tax, depreciation, tyres, all of it. Would you pay 520 quid a month for an equivalent Model 3? Whatever the car is, you know, like a 3 Series size vehicle, with everything included. So you've got no extra costs. Even fuel is included at that. I don't know. I'll leave it up to you whether you think this is a good or a bad price or average. Let me know if you've done something similar in terms of total running costs for an EV over however many years. Does it compare? Is it less? Is it more? I mean, it doesn't really matter if you think this is good or bad value, because what is good value is channel membership. Chew on that one in. That is 99p a month. That doesn't even get you 99 penny sweets. Probably about 9 penny sweets. You get videos on Sunday instead of Friday, occasional members only videos. If you want to help the channel out, just click like, subscribe and all that sort of crap. Any YouTube channel that you like, just put a comment in. That's how you help a YouTuber that you don't want to give any money to, but ultimately you think, oh yeah, I like these free videos that I watch. Just a brief, badly shot addendum that I was going to include, but then may have forgotten. Insurance. I've deliberately excluded it from this list because it's so variable depending on who you are. What might cost me £1,000 might cost you £500 or £3,000. The person and where you live probably has a larger effect than the car itself. So including it in this wouldn't really help anybody with how much something costs, because that is something you need to kind of figure out yourself depending on the various variables. In years 1, 2 and 3, for us, it was about 600 quid, just a bit less, but let's call it £600 a year for the first 3 years. Last year it went up to £1,000, which is the first time I've paid 4 figures for a long time for insurance. This year it's gone back down again to about 800. So they're the figures, 6,668. If I lived in other parts of Yorkshire, it would probably be about 200 quid a year cheaper, for example. That's how much it costs, just so you know. And probably like last time, most people won't watch until the end of the video and ultimately will go, what about insurance? Because it's not on the whiteboard. And now my gimbal's going nuts, so I'll end it there.